No long intro today, straight to the point. That aha moment is still going to hit you a bit later. Take a close look. The new commander, the Astro UFO, has 5 stripes on his helmet, just like G-Toilet used to. But with G-Man, it wasn't just 5 stripes. It was 5 stripes with a halo, like the one the Astro Duchess has. Although G-Toilet's halo didn't have static energy. Also, for some reason, his 5 stripes aren't on a helmet, but directly on his exposed head. That leads to an interesting thought. The Astro UFO might not actually be the real commander. Maybe he's a fake leader, officially giving orders, while the real commander, with the same halo G-Toilet once had, is hiding somewhere beyond Earth, running the operation remotely. In the bonus scene from Season 23, we saw the Astro UFO talking to someone through a tablet, and only then did he give the order to the Astro Scorpion. And you know when that happened in the timeline? That's right, before episode 70, where the Scorpion showed up and said, "You all will die," basically announcing the full-scale entry of the Astros into the war. So before giving such a serious order to the Scorpion, he consulted someone, which means the person he was speaking to clearly outranks him. And that's yet another indirect but very strong confirmation that there's a real commander out there. Also, there's a fun little detail in that bonus scene. Look at how close the tablet gets to the Astro UFO's head. It actually bumps into his helmet as it closes. Looks a bit silly, but what's more important is this. The moment the UFO realizes he's being watched, he doesn't wait even a second. He instantly kills the witness. Compare that to episode 76, where just as much important info was revealed. Yet neither the UFO nor the Duchess did anything. At the end of that episode, you can clearly see the Duchess noticing the agents. She's looking right in their direction. Sure, the Astro Transporter was in the background and the agents were doomed anyway, but the Alliance broadcast was active. If the UFO really wanted to keep that conversation secret, he would have taken them out beforehand. Also note, episode 76 had subtitles, and we understand what the characters are saying. But the bonus scene in Season 23 still has no subtitles. We have no idea what was said. All of this points to one thing. That conversation was top secret. But even if that's true, here's another question. Why go through all this? Why create a fake identity? The simplest explanation: to protect himself. If you kill the UFO, you haven't taken out the real commander, because he's controlling everything from the shadows like a puppet master. We already saw a similar plot twist with G-Man back in episode 65. You could say duplicating appearances has become a tradition in Skibidi Toilet, whether it's a mech suit, a mask, or even a fake persona. But this time, the character seems built from the ground up to have a hidden layer, and that's why this kind of twist would feel completely new. But here's something to nitpick. If it really is a fake persona, then why didn't they fake the halo too? That would have made the disguise way more convincing. Plus, G-Toilet himself, having been the real commander before, would know all the small but important details, and he wouldn't be fooled by such a surface-level disguise. So maybe there's a simpler explanation. Maybe the Astro UFO really is the commander, and back when G-Toilet was still an Astro Toilet, he held a higher rank, thanks to the halo, and was more than just a commander. Which version do you prefer? That's up to you. Personally, I lean toward the first. It feels more intriguing and layered. And really, have you noticed how few original theories we're seeing in the Skibidi Toilet fandom lately? Even on my channel, I've been leaning more toward the safer theories, the ones more likely to be confirmed later. But at some point, I realized that part of my audience doesn't watch for takes on already popular theories. They want fresh ones, theories that are lesser known or even totally wild. And as you can probably tell from how this video started, today I've got a new and unusual theory. It's pretty solid fact-wise and just the right amount of crazy. But I'll be honest, the original idea came from my subscriber, the True Savior. I just added my own thoughts to it. And since we're off to such a strong start, here's another cool theory from the same person. This one's about G-Man's family tree. A lot of people think the Duchess is G-Toilet's daughter, and I kind of agree, but I'm still not totally sure. The story hasn't confirmed it yet. Although it's theoretically possible, I already talked about it in this video. And then I thought, what if the Astros have their own main scientist, like the scientist on the Skibidi Toilet side, but from the Astro side? And what if he's actually G-Toilet's father? If G-Man has already lived for 1,000 years or more, then imagine how long his father could have lived. He could easily have become an ultra-tier scientist with insane knowledge and influence. In fact, The true savior even made custom posters showing what this character might look like. With that much effort, I think he totally deserves a like. And now let's move on to Titan Speakerman. Did you notice how in this video I showed him in the thumbnail looking at a ruined world? That wasn't random. Think back to my other thumbnail with Titan Cameraman. They look similar, but there's one key difference. With the cameraman, the background was a peaceful, untouched part of Earth. That wasn't just to show that the cameraman has temporarily stepped back while Speakerman takes the spotlight. It also shows how differently they view the world and how different their personalities are. Story-wise, they might seem similar, but they're really not. The cameraman was the very first Titan, the only one who's never been infected. He's saved the day multiple times, and he represents hope, the belief in a better future. Titan Speakerman, on the other hand, is totally different. He literally killed his own kind when he was infected. His path was much darker. And when he returns, I won't be surprised if he's driven by insane rage, destroying everything in his path, kind of like what Titan TV Man did when he refused to listen to the TV scientist and just wanted to find and kill G-Man. Titan Cameraman, though, will act strategically. He's that last remaining hope that could save the world from even greater horrors. That's why he might play a crucial role at the end of the Astro arc. Another piece of evidence supporting this theory is the context that's already forming. Think about it. Titan Speakerman will be upgraded by his own kind, the Speakermen. But Titan Cameraman? Most likely he'll be upgraded by the secret agent and his stealth team. We don't know much about the secret agent himself, but one thing is clear. He has one of the most analytical minds in the entire Skibidi toilet universe. He can calculate everything in advance, and for him, there's no such thing as black or white. He can destroy someone who interferes with his plan without hesitation, and just as easily work with someone who can help him. That's exactly why he operates in secret. Regular fighters wouldn't understand such complex and long-term decisions. They'd immediately start asking questions, so he has to work from the shadows. And here's what I'm getting at. The secret agent's influence on Titan Cameraman is going to be massive. While the other Titans are still unsure how to feel about G-Man and the idea of him joining the Alliance, Cameraman, after working with the stealth team, will have a much more critical mindset. Not just about that, but about the overall war strategy. Which brings us to a key question. If one Titan is driven by rage and the other by cold logic, whose decision will be the right one when the time comes? It's possible that this exact clash of worldviews, Speakerman versus Cameraman, will decide the fate of the entire alliance. Personally, I'm betting on Titan Cameraman as the key player in the Astro arc. What do you think? Of course, that doesn't mean Titan Speakerman won't be important. He could have just as much or even more impact. But based on everything we've seen so far, my bet is still on Cameraman. And lastly, I just couldn't resist showing you this masterpiece and giving my thoughts. While I was writing this script, the first official pre-orders for new toys dropped, and the ones that caught my eye most were the Skibidi scientist and the secret agent. They look absolutely hilarious. I don't know if they were made that cartoonish on purpose or if it just turned out that way, but it seems like that's exactly the effect they were going for. Compare them to their originals. The difference is obvious. The serious designs from the show contrast sharply with the toys. That's why I think they'll probably release other versions of these characters later, maybe from the deluxe figure line, where the style is closer to the original universe. Because these cartoonish versions honestly look kind of meme-like at times, and viewers have already picked up on that. By the way, the second wave of deluxe figures is already out, and they look really cool. I've already unboxed a bunch of toys from the previous wave. If you haven't seen it, I totally recommend checking it out. See you next time.
The Skibidi Toilet Collection, available at Target.